Great. Good afternoon, Mike.
Good
Uh,
afternoon.
thank you so much for your time today for us here at ICCG. We value our partnership, the way we have worked with Engis Corporation over the years for supporting your prime enterprise system, Infor M3. It has always been a pleasure and a great experience for all of us at ICCG. And so, thank you so much for giving us some time to talk with us, to share with us your journey with Infor M3, and also in parallel, how that led to our partnership together. So, in order to kick things off, maybe you can start with a brief introduction to your role, yourself, and also briefly about Engis Corporation business, Mike. Yeah.
Sure. Engis Corporation is in the industrial abrasives business. We've been in business since 1938. That makes it about 87 years. And my role, primary role at Engis, is I'm the materials manager. I'm responsible for purchasing and inventory control. But back when I was hired 28 years ago, I was brought in to help select and implement a new computer system to overcome our Y2K vulnerabilities. And as part of that team, we searched out software, we selected and implemented, and we ended up with what was the predecessor to M3, at least in name, which was a product called MoveX. And it looks in general and acts in general exactly the same way today as it did so many years ago, although there's been a lot of functionality added to that. Engis Corporation, we manufacture all sorts of products. We manufacture formulated products like slurries and compounds, as well as discrete products like grinding and cutting wheels, as well as capital equipment. So we needed a product that could cover all of those types of manufacturing, and there were very few at the time that could do that. And even in today's market, there's very few that can cover both product, discrete and other types of manufacturing well at the same time. M3 is still one of those products that can do that. Even some of the other Infor products cannot cover the breadth that M3 certainly does.
Yeah, that's absolutely well stated there, Mike. And it's so fortuitous that even we at ICCG started our journey way back when it was MoveX, part of Intensia, and then moved on to Lawson, and then eventually now with Infor.
Yeah.
So this is great. And you also did mention about how you went about selecting Infor M3 as your enterprise system, and you have been on that journey. What's interesting, Mike, and maybe would love to hear your thoughts also on this, has been that while you started this, you have gone through possibly 3, 4 updates, migrations of the same solution, right? Moving from MoveX to M3 on-prem, one version. Then I remember, I believe it was 2015, 16, or a little later, you did an upgrade to that time available version. And then currently you are moving to cloud. You're migrating the entire application to cloud. And that journey, we have been fortunate to be able to support you across all that. So maybe a little bit of an insight on that would be super helpful, Mike.
Well, we have gone through all of the implementations of M3. Originally, we were on a green screen version of MoveX that ran exclusively on an iSeries IBM, AS400, they called them back then. And we're still on an iSeries, at least for the business engine portion of M3. However, there's a number of other servers that play roles in supporting the M3 implementation. And it, as the years have progressed, that's become more and more complex. And we've had to add servers every time we've upgraded over the years to handle the new portions of the software. One of the things that we're excited about with moving to the cloud is that we will no longer have to manage those servers, have to manage the services that those servers run. All we need to do now is manage M3 and some of the other links that we need to create to get what we need to do here at Engis. So it's been a great trip, but I'm glad we're at a point where we no longer need to manage so much of the infrastructure, and we can actually concentrate more on the applications.
Yeah, very well said, Mike. I think that's been the biggest value add for many customers moving on to cloud from an on-prem world, is because you are able to focus on optimizing your business processes and really serving your end customers even better. And I know Engis is doing a great work there in terms of serving your customers great. And that brings me to the, again, request to you to share with us how has been for you as a customer the experience working with ICCG as your partner in the journey all along, and what would you love to share with everybody in terms of how this journey has been?
Well, it's actually, I went back and reviewed our records to
Yeah,
see, at what point we started. And it was the early 2000s where we had ICCG create some modifications for us that we still have in place to this day. And I went through the various upgrades and all the documents. And as time went on, I really had to provide ICCG with less information regarding our upgrades because we were remaining with the same group, the same company to do those for us. I didn't have to bring in somebody else and say, here's all this documentation. Can you redo this for us for our next upgrade? By staying with ICCG, we've been able to do that. Fortunately, moving to the cloud, a lot of those go away, those modifications. However, we still need implementation support and trying to get a handle on the new features that will replace these modifications that we've done in the past. And that's where ICCG is coming in now, is they are helping us manage those, manage the upgrade process as far as those new processes and features go.
yeah. Absolutely, Mike. We are always there by your side. We are very much wanting to ensure that your journey with Infor, now Cloud Suite M3, continues to be a positive experience for you. And that's really what is our mission in serving every customer. So that is amazingly helpful for you to say that. And I would also say this, that you are one of those customers who have uh, very positively embraced our global delivery model. We have customers who many a time say, you know what, we need support here, versus we have found for customers there is value when you embrace a global delivery model, because that gets some cost advantages for you and also enables you to execute the project initiatives you are on virtually on a 24/7 or round the clock basis. So a little bit of a feedback on your adoption of this kind of a global delivery model where we have offshore and onshore team members supporting you, because I think there is some value you see in that for sure.
Well, you almost can't get away from offshore resources anymore. Just calling your phone company or your cable company, you're not talking to somebody in the U.S. anymore. They may be on a vastly different schedule as you are, but at the same time, they have to provide the same level of support. And for Engis, dealing with our offshore resources from ICCG has been painless. Yes, they are doing things in a different time zone and a different time than us. But then again, we try to assist in making schedules early in the day or later in the day to help with scheduling issues. But it's not a problem for us because most of the time, the amount of our time that we need to put into it is really fairly small, and a lot of the rest of it just comes through documentation, through emails and whatnot. And email doesn't matter where you are in the world; it's always coming through. So we do have our video meetings, our online meetings, as well as all of the other communication, and it's not been a problem. We've used some onshore resources from ICCG as well, and they've been excellent. Are they a little more expensive? Yes, but there are some times when you need an onshore resource who may be a little bit more familiar with what's going on here in the United States versus the rest of the world. Yeah. But it works out well for us. It really does.
Thank you so much, Mike. I once again, on behalf of ICCG leadership team, want to thank you, and also will fail in my duty if I don't thank Mark Gray, the financial control officer, chief financial officer at Engis Corporation, for giving us this constant encouragement and support. Thanks to customers like you, we continue to be motivated to serve M3 World very well. So thank you so much for your time today, and we will look forward to continuing this journey of partnership with you in times to come. Thank you, sir.
I look forward to it as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.